nights out on the boardwalk, stealing a kiss, watching the waves fall.
Kris, great speaking with you, my friend. I know this is a busy time for you, but you know what? I'm just thrilled, A, not just to be able to talk to you about your new single, but B, you are going to be part of Chevy Music Presents Indie Fridays, Young Dundas Square. You're one of the big feature artists. I get to introduce you since I host the event, and it's going to be huge because let's face it, when it comes to not just country music, but Canadian country music, probably one of the biggest genres we have in Canada, man. How does it feel being part of something like this?
It's so cool just to be a part of it. There's so much talent and there's so much, just to kind of be inspired by in our genre. And it's also so cool to be inspired by the fans that keep coming back and keep showing us all their love and support. So, like I said, it's a really great genre to be a part of, and I'm excited about this Friday, and also excited to be chatting with you. So thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
My friend, I always love talking to you. You have such an incredible story, from, being on the ice as a hockey player to what happened we're going to talk about something special that happened to you at Boots and Hearts to, just becoming, again, a superstar in Canadian country music scene. Did you ever think your dreams would become what it is today?
Well, let's use the superstar term loosely. I know there's a lot of work cut out ahead of me, but I think that I have an incredible team behind me. We're taking some amazing steps. It's just really cool to, again, like I said, just to be a part of something it came out of kind of nowhere, and it just started following my heart and what I wanted to do with life, and I wanted to try and do something that meant something to me, and I've been at it a lot of years, and I still feel like I'm just getting started. But again, I want to give thanks to all the people around me that helped me to be successful.
I can't call you a superstar because when it comes to Warner Music Canada, they don't just sign anybody. They know great artists. I mean, getting signed by them, that must have been a thrill for you.
It's an incredible feeling. It's extremely, extremely flattering. I know you mentioned we're going to talk about the whole Boots and Hearts thing, and I guess I was kind of going into that process just looking for a bit of validation in the sense of that I've been in the industry for a few years. I think I'm rounding my 8th year in the business, and I just was kind of looking for some kind of validation that, hey, I was doing something right, or, I'm going the right direction, or the steps that I've been taking have been kind of, I guess, working in a sense. Some of them work, some of them don't, but, to be fortunate enough to be recognized by the group at Warner Music Canada is such a flattering thing. There's so much amazing talent, as I said earlier. So to be able to be considered by Warner Music Canada and to be signed by them and to be able to be fortunate enough to work with them, I mean, everyone that I get a chance to work with on that team has been incredible.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. Ajax is your home, and hockey was your thing, my friend. But you were still doing music at the same time.
Yeah, I think, I was kind of born into the athletic lifestyle, the hockey lifestyle for sure. I come from a hockey family, and I always played sports as a kid, and music was kind of never really on my radar. I think I asked for a guitar. I was about 12 or 13 years old for Christmas, just because I wanted to be able to play, AC/DC licks and Blink-182 licks and all that kind of stuff. Because all my buddies could do it, and I was kind of like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. That's the whole sports mentality. So I just started to play just so I could keep up with my buddies, and then I kind of fell in love with it, and then soon after discovered country music, and it was my way of kind of relaxing. So if I came home from the hockey game all wound up still, or if you have a tough day at school, or whatever the case might have been for me, I would just grab the guitar and, throw some music on, and I would just sit and try and make the guitar sound like what I heard in the recording, or make my voice sound like what I thought the singer sounded like. I just try and mimic what I heard on my favorite songs, and that's kind of how I learned how to play music.
What was it about country music, though, too, lyrically? Because I've always said this, and I've said this in anybody who's heard my interviews, I say this all the time. Music is great, genres are great, but two genres I find can tell great stories. Hip-hop and certain rap, hip-hop and country songs tell great stories. Was that an attraction for you also?
Well, absolutely. I think that the biggest thing, and I totally agree with your point on hip-hop as well, but with country music, I just find it's relatable. It's just so relatable. Like the things that they talk about in country music, 95% of everybody in the world, no matter what kind of music you like, has gone through all the things that they talk about in country music, whether it's heartbreak, whether it's they talk about, losing loved ones, they talk about falling in love, they talk about having a good time and partying and having, being social. And I mean, there are so many relatable points that happen in country music that no matter what genre of music that is your favorite, you can find a song in country music that you can relate to. So the lyrical component of country was just so appealing to me because the things that I was listening to, the artists were singing, it was like, yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about. I've been there, and it's kind of like having that relatability is huge.
Absolutely. Just curious, though, because every country artist has written a liquor song. Have you done that yet?
Of course I've written a song about drinking. Come on. That's relatable, Rudy. Relatable. We're talking about relatable, right? Come on.
And we are talking about Canadian country music, too, so that's a birthright. You got to make sure you write that liquor song. But and the reason why I'm going down what's that?
Sorry, I was just going to say that's just a rite of passage as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. Because here's the thing: the rite of passage from reading your bio kind of happened to you, and correct me if I'm wrong, in a bar, and it was a bet on a game for you to become a country artist full time. Can you talk about that, please? It was
actually in my parents' basement. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't a bar. My buddy and I were just watching a game, and everyone was trying to get me to play at bars and clubs. My parents were trying, all my buddies were trying, family, everything. But he was on me all the time. I couldn't hang out with the guy without him saying, hey, when are we doing this? You got to do this. Like, you're better than a campfire. You're better than your basement. You got to get out. You got to do it. And I kept saying, I thought to myself that wasn't my kind of calling in life, and that I was supposed to play hockey, and that I was supposed to get my degree and get the career going that I had planned for myself. And kind of, I thought that was my route, but that's what I was supposed to be doing. And then, so he said, listen, we make a bet. And if you win the bet, I'll never ask you to play music again. But if I win the bet, you owe me a gig. So obviously I lost the bet.
Man, you know what? No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we planned it out. It was it was a local bar. It was one of my first gigs I ever played, and we planned it. And he got on, like he was like promoting. He was telling everybody in town where I'm from. And we had like, my first gig. You can imagine if you've never played a gig in your life before, you're nervous, right? You hope that nobody shows. You hope that you have like 5 people there. That way, if it sucks, then not a lot of people know about it, right? I mean, my friends packed this place full of all these. I didn't even know half the people. They just brought everyone they knew, right? They brought the farm to this bar, and it was so much. But we had a couple hundred people in there, and it was like holy moly. And then you fall in love with that rush, that entertaining. That when you're entertaining people and you're going and you're moving and grooving, I think you fall in love with that feeling. And so that translates for me. So no matter what stage I'm playing on, whether it be Yonge and Dundas Square, whether it be Boots and Hearts or the Rogers Center downtown Toronto, I mean, I'm still playing for those people in the bar. I'm still playing to entertain people, and I think for me that's what it's always been about, and that's what it always will be about.
You have opened up and performed with other artists. Who are some of the artists you shared the stage with?
Well, I mean, there's been a few of them. I mean, I've opened shows I've opened a show for Brett Kissel before. We have another one coming up, actually, Toronto Festival of Beer, July 27th, opening for Brett again, which is going to be really exciting. I mean, there's been a bunch. Gord Bamford, Ken Hicks, the Roadhammers. I'm missing a few. Chad Brownlee. I mean, the list goes on. There's just so many great shows and so many great artists in Canada to have opportunities to open shows for them, number one, and number two, to learn something from them and how I can translate it and make my show a little bit better too.
Well, let's talk about Boots and Hearts, because I mentioned something else about that earlier. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're back to perform at Boots and Hearts this year, right?
I can't wait. Kickoff party Thursday night. I think we're opening for Cadillac 3 and Chase Rice. So super exciting, and can't wait to get back there and do our thing.
So what happened a couple of years ago? Why was Boots and Hearts so important to your career? Because something was bestowed upon you. Well,
I think, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, I've been to Boots and Hearts several times as a fan. If I think where you're going with this is I've been there as a fan, mm-hmm. and I've just been in the crowd, and I've been, watching all these artists, and I've been, kind of seeing, how cool it is and how cool it looks to be on the big stages and doing all that kind of stuff with big crowds. And as an artist, that's what you want to be doing. Like, you want to be playing those big shows. They're awesome. And so, I kind of said to my buddy that I was with a different guy, and I said, leaning on a certain light pole that's out in the middle of the field, and I said, you know, I got to find a way to get up there. It's been a few years now. I got to figure out a way, and I don't know how, but I'm going to figure out a way to get up there. And I've been applying to the Emerging Artist Showcase for years, and you know, I obviously still have some work to do, but last year I was selected as a wild card entry to kind of get into that showcase, and so I was able to finally get up, you know, fast forward to the actual Emerging Artist Showcase and able to stand on the stage and look out, and I saw the same light pole that I was leaning on years prior, watching as a fan. So it was a really surreal moment for me.
Man, I just got a rush hearing that story. That is so amazing. What also is amazing, too, my friend, you, as we speak, have a brand new single out right now.
Yeah, I'm really, really proud of it, really excited about it. And funny enough, we chose, so on the Sunday during the Emerging Artist Showcase, you only are allowed to play one song. You get one song to just throw down on the main stage. If you make it to the top two and you get to play on Sunday, you get to play one song. And I had this song written prior to Boots and Hearts, so I was backstage with my band, and I said, boys, like, I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what song should we do. I mean, what are you guys feeling? And all the guys in the band, without a doubt, said we're playing Loved You Like That. So
wow.
That's what we did. We played that song at Boots and Hearts, and then, you know, following that process, you're able to sit down, you know, again, like I mentioned before, with my amazing team at Warner Canada, and we started throwing songs on the table, and we had 12, 13 kind of maybe songs on the table to on the chopping block kind of thing, and everybody on my team, every single person that listened to my songs at the office, all picked Loved You Like That. So my band believed in it, my producers believed in it, my team at the label believed in it. So I mean, that's the reason enough of why that song is so excited about.
What's the song about, my friend?
Well, I kind of came up with the idea. I had some really talented co-writers in on the song with me. Was not in the room with me that day, but I kind of, on the way into the write, I was kind of thinking about how social media is such a prominent part of our lives these days, and you know, a lot of times people may end up having, you know, maybe their ex, you know, someone they lost on social media, and you're kind of scrolling through your phone, and you're kind of bombing through Instagram or Facebook or whatever you're doing, and you see a photo of someone you used to be with, but they're happy with somebody else, you know, and they look really happy, and they look like, you know, they look like it looks natural, and it looks great, and it looks like everything that you should have been doing in the first place.
Oh, killer.
You're doing all if you were doing all those things, you wouldn't have lost her in the first place. So you probably should have loved her like that.
Should have loved you like that. Seen the way you look at him, feelings coming back again. Should have known what I had when I had you close to me. Don't know why I didn't see. You're all I ever wanted, and now I want you back. Should have loved you like that. I should have loved you like that.
You know what? This goes right back to what we were saying before about country music, man. Relatable. I don't know a dude out there who is probably not going through that right now at this moment.
A dude that's gone through it, or a girl that's had to make a decision to go somewhere else, you know, with her relationship, and is happier somewhere else, and is thinking, man, I like that guy, but he should have done this or done that. Girl or guy, for that matter, right? A guy, it could happen to a guy too. So anyway, that's the story of the song, and I kind of, yeah, and I had some really talented co-writers in that on it. So really, really proud of what the outcome is.
Will you be performing that song at Young Dundas Square, and what is the show going to be like when you're performing there?
Well, 1,000,000% we'll be playing that song. You'll hear it there. And the show, I mean, I just want to have so much fun. I think that, like I told you before, Rudy, I think for me, it's all about the show. It's all about entertainment. It's all about having fun. That's what people come to shows for. They come to concerts to kind of get away from their actual life and just kind of jump into a zone with a concert, you know, at a concert with artists and with other people that are at the concert as well. You get a chance to kind of forget about your weird week. It's going to be Friday night. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of fun. I think it's going to be great.
Looking forward to it, man. Social media-wise, where do we go? Because you already said Boots and Hearts, Beer Fest. You got a lot of stuff going on. So where do we go to follow you with everything that's happening?
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's Kris.Barclay. On Twitter, it's Kris_Barclay. KrisBarclay.com, or you can search me up on Facebook, too. It's Kris with a K, though. You got to Got to make sure you get the K at the beginning.
Special K, always going to be starting it all off. My friend.
K, I love it.
Thanks so much for doing this interview with me. Looking forward as we speak. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I get to introduce you. This is going to be a great show. Congrats on the music and the career.
Thanks so much for your time. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
I should've loved you like that.